they will accept you on the surface, but if it was your life or theirs, they would choose theirs. If it was your success over theirs, they're going to choose theirs. And I think that we a lot of us, too many of us, still want to be accepted. We even see ourselves on some level as being accepted. It's like, okay, I go to college, I have a degree, I have a career, they accept me. But always, we need to remember in the back of our mind, we will never be accepted because they understand, even if they don't understand the science behind it, everything behind it, they understand that we are superior to them. They get that part. Even the dumbest of the dumb of them, they get it.
The dumbest of the dumb. That's
the ones who came out and, the uneducated white men who voted Trump in office. They understand. The record numbers, they came out and voted.
Yes, they
the
did.
Dumb ones.
Right.
I'm behind you.
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that was most impressive to me about the Haitian of that time was their reliance on African spirituality and African culture and the elements in their environment and using those as tools for the revolution. I think it's so unfortunate. We have so much technology and resources available to us right here in the United States, but we don't use them for our empowerment as much as we should, and they had very little material wealth or, anything, and they used all of the resources available to them to get them foods up out of their country, and I just think that was very impressive, and we could learn a lot from them and relying on our own spiritual practices that our ancestors had, which again, like they said, it wasn't about religion, it was a lifestyle, it was about honoring the ancestors, it was about honoring nature, it was about honoring, everything in the universe and using those tools to get what it is that we need. So right now we have over an abundance as a community, yet we have very little as far as institutions. We don't know how to build our institutions and all those type of things. So maybe off the camera and stuff, that's what we can be building on. Like how we going to take the multitude of resources that we have now to build our hospital, to build more schools, to build, if we're going to be here in the United States or if we're going to repatriate, what are we doing? So I think they were impressive.
How about, because one of the things that I wanted to bring out that stuck to me was that they used, like she said, plugged into the spirituality, plugged into the ancestors. And we have been taught that that's spookism. And it's something that we need to get away from. But one of the things that I like to point out to people is that when you look at the foundation of modern Western science and you trace it back, you can trace it all the way back to our divination system, where you see us throwing the shells. Anybody ever got a reading and they throw the shells? The shells, the language that they use in the shells is basically a binary language, on, off, right? That's when you see all those zeros and ones for the programs, that came from them studying our divination system, bringing it back to Europe and using it as their secret mathematics and being able to formulate the very basics of what we use right now. We are a stream of zeros and ones up here on the screen. So the technology that's being used against us is technology that came from us. We just had a different way of plugging into it. And we got to understand that. So when we talk about binary language, the very crystals that they use to get this thing to work, it's the same crystals that we used to wear. We didn't have to rely on a machine. We used the crystals to empower us. But right now, the very crystal science that we was talking about, we was using, and we talk about as spookism, is being used to power this tablet, this computer, the cell phones that all of us got. And all of that can be traced back to us and how we related and connected to nature. So in this battle, we got to understand that we're going to have to call on things outside of ourselves to make things happen. We still going to have to get stuff done. Don't get me wrong. We're going to have to work in the physical. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, everything, the more we know about self, that's why you have to get the knowledge of self. The more you know about self, the more you understand nature, then you know how to plug in. And that was one of the things that was brought out also in the movie, was that they knew their selves. So let's say you use the example of crystals. Crystals is inside of us. That's what your teeth is. That's what, you have a little bitty crystal in your ear that allows, the brain to send out signals. And crystal is in melanin. So when you begin to understand more about who you are, that's why you have to get the knowledge of self. That's what made the Haitian people, according to this, and it's true, more powerful because they know who they are. They knew, just military strategy that was naturally inside of them, but they used nature. Why? Because they knew themselves, so therefore they knew nature. The same laws that govern nature also govern us. That's why we like the water. We like the forest. We like greens. We like, all of that is because the sun, because that is us. So we learn to use that, and that's what the piece they was talking about with even capoeira. When the graceful movements, that was signals. You got the African drums, they use to give out signals to other ones. We understood this very carefully. So when you begin to know yourself, so now if you're talking about Caucasians, they don't have all of that aboard. They bleed red blood like you, but there's even racism in that. You go to the doctor right now, you tell the doctor what's wrong with you. And then he gives you, all the pharmaceuticals that they give us that's got psychotropics in them. Think about that. They give you medications that got psychotropics in it. Why? To make you more influenced, because they know that ain't nothing else is going to just like kill you and knock you out. They had to chop our heads off, give us lye or whatever they had to do to kill us because they got our minds even so many ways. Because we don't know ourselves. So the more we tie in to ourselves, you can grow hair back, you can grow teeth back, you can grow eyes back. What about in slavery when they wanted to pull our teeth? What was that about?
Right.
Because all your teeth are connected to some of your spirituality.
I think it's something I'm working on, because sometimes the thing that's because we're such a humanitarian people and loving people,
We so loving.
We don't. It's hard for us to have enemies, and it's hard for us to kind of like do like a post analysis. Because like one thing I noticed when they were talking about how I think Rashambo and let him live. Had that been the other way around, they would have never. That's right. Somebody with that, especially with the hatred and who cares who like who? Because he killing women, children, raping folks and allowing all that kind of stuff. So that to me, that's what like Claude Anderson would call inappropriate behavior.
But
Kind of like in the first Roots, how when they had beat Chicken George's character as an adult, and then when the white person had done something and he had his opportunity to whoop him back, he wouldn't do it.
Because I'm above that.
Right, and I'm not saying that that's bad. All I'm saying is that when you're in a war, you can't hold hands.
Elder
Morality in service of oppression.
That's
right. So when you're looking at that kind of stuff, it's like even, and that's not to judge or criticize it, but definitely it's like like who was the black first to betray them? Like sending them away with letting them go back to their home country, not the ones that helped out, but letting them like with fully loaded ships, supplies, money, resources.
Right.
It's like you already depleted, which is how the French were able to come back and say, "Oh, we're gonna re-enslave you."
Not only that, you owe us money. Sister Jackie up here says the ideas that interest me are in finding out how to create. So if anybody want to go towards that one, you know what I'm saying? But I want to make sure we get the comments because we got family all over the country. She's in Maryland. We got some other people that's in Columbus. Hopefully we get some more people. But like I said,
I would just like to say I like the movie how it can tell you how different people were thinking at that time. How the European was thinking, how the African was thinking, and how they were so consistent in how they would deal with us. And I remember in the movies, Shaka Zulu, he said, never let an enemy escape. And that's what we did. We let the enemy escape. And what did the enemy do? Came back and fired on us.
right.
And so, I think, they're trying to show us, things that happen, and that if we pay attention, we will see how they can manipulate to look like they're your friend, that they're going to do this or that for you. But really, it is always to keep you suppressed.
Okay, Brother D was next, babe.
Well, hold on. Okay, cool. Wait, hold on. This is the continuation of her question. She said, so she was in between thoughts. The idea that interests me are in finding out how to create, but how do we find a way to create? mold and increase the numbers among us to share in thoughts and the thoughts being shared here. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we could roll around with and we get back to it. But somebody back here, and then we're gonna come.
No, sister.
Okay.
I wanted to ask the sister here who says we need to know who we are.
Yeah.
How do you propose that we teach the young folks?
Well, I think that I think the film did a good job in telling us how. Which one was it, Mandala, that taught everybody how to cue into nature? And you know, when you look at nature, which nature don't really lie. So when I think that's one way we teach them how to take care of themselves with herbs. How we teach them how to, you know, the way the sun shines, how to climb the mountain, so to speak. They used everything that they naturally knew how to do to basically stay alive, survive, and even kill thousands of Frenchmen and everybody else. So I think we learn about herbs, we learn who we are, you know, this kind of a thing, and then we unite on it. And it even went as far as saying that the Africans that were brought over on the slave ships spoke different languages, but there was still a unity factor. What was that unity factor? It was their spirituality and their connection to all the forces of nature, and they used them. So that's how I think that, you know.
And they knew what freedom was.
They are freedom. We are freedom. The same law of nature.
They knew what oppression was.
You ready?
Yeah, I want to say first, thank you guys for putting this together.
Yes.
Yeah. Sister Navita.
I want to give props to Tariq Nasheed as well. A lot of times we beat up on our brother. We talk about some of the things he may have done in his past, but what he has done with these films, the Hidden Color series and then this 1804 series, what I like to say, he's awakened the sleeping giant. The sleeping giant is these young people. Right. I'm to the point now where I'm 40 years old. If it's not youth involved, I really don't deal with it because we have to start giving this information to our children.
That's right.
For far too long, we have had these discussions. I'm from Chicago. We've had these discussions. I was my son's age listening to Steve Kofi in the 80s and early 90s.
I hear you.
We've had these discussions and we've had these conversations, but yet we haven't given them this information to empower them so they can take the mantle. The one thing I do like about the film, they mentioned Dusable, and coming from Chicago, we learned about Haiti because of Dusable. Right. Growing up in Chicago, and the thing that I love about him was they didn't really talk about it a lot in the movie. He was kind of mysterious. You didn't know a lot about him. He did a lot of great things for the city of Chicago and founded the city, and he did a lot of things for his homeland back in Haiti as well. But he was a beautiful brother, and I wish they would have talked about him a little bit more. And another thing I wish Tariq would have did, and I sent him a personal message, I wish he would have talked about the children a little bit more as well, because they talked about it a little bit, how the children were in the trees and they were helping out with you know, letting them know when the British or the Spaniards was coming and different attacks and things of that nature. But we have to always remember to keep the children involved because, you know, we don't realize, we forget. We're doing a program next Monday back home in Chicago honoring Dr. King, Marcus Garvey, and Malcolm X. We forget Dr. King and Malcolm especially, they didn't even make it to 40 years old, so they were babies, man. You know what I'm saying? And the people that was behind them was babies. Was a lot of y'all age, but y'all was young people. So we have to empower the youth. If we don't empower the youth, then I mean, we're just having we're having these conversations over and over, and no real work is getting done.
This brother right here, but let me read. Sister Jackie said, we need to make these ideas more important in our community, to find the heart of more brothers and sisters share in believing these ideas are important. This is a group of beautiful, like-minded individuals that need their voices heard and a connection made so that we can trailblaze and further the education of our children. She owned the children too. These thoughts must be their legacy and tradition. Brother back in the back.
Well, I just got something to say. I kind of really don't want to be on the video, but if anybody is really interested in African spirituality, Haitian voodoo, African voodoo, Ifa, Palomayombe, all of our traditions, we are not invisible. Well, we are invisible to a sense. All that exists right here in Columbus. All this is happening right here in Columbus. So if you want to go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole and not just theorize and talk about it, but actually participate learn the culture, learn the tradition, learn actually how to work your magic, how to work your juju, how to connect with your ancestors. I can assist you with that. I can connect you with the right people so you can start working on that part of your path.
Okay, now, and a reminder, please put your contact information on the paper.
Email address too.
Email address, Facebook contact, something where we can contact you about future things. Also, another thing I want to say that people connected on in Haiti, whether they, like you said, they were brought in from different tribes throughout the continent, they connected also on, they recognized who their enemy was. A lot of times we don't recognize, I don't care if you, like Brother Malcolm said, put your religion to the side, because they all beating on us for the same reason. So whether you practice, I don't care what you, I used to not be on this, but I'm so on it. I don't care what you do. At the end of the day, we all have the same enemy in common. So if you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or whatever, set that stuff to the side and realize that we are all in the same war. We should at least, if you disagree, well, I don't believe in spirituality or I don't believe in what they believe in, that doesn't mean we still don't come together. We need to come together and realize that we all have the same enemy. And when I want to put this note in, when you start organizations and you put names on organizations, I request that people quit calling them African, quit calling them Black, because you draw attention to yourself right away. If you notice, when they do their stuff, they don't call it the white, most of the time, they don't call it the white such and such, or the Caucasian such and such. They just call it whatever. And a lot of times they'll go under the radar and unnoticed. We are always quick to tell everybody what we're doing. And we need to stop telling everybody what we're doing.
We got a young brother had his hand up.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen your hand up, man. You sure you ain't got nothing to say? Because I want to hear from some of the young people too. Because like I said, we got to make sure that the kids. Because I want to see. I'm interested in seeing what some of the young people got from it. I'm kind of mad I didn't bring Cleve, but I got it at home. I made Cleve watch it, but he probably be quiet too. Any young people got anything? You got? Right here. Go ahead. Let me get you on camera, girl. Go ahead.
Okay, young lady. Okay. So, when he was when he crushed up all the earth and some dangerous earth that would kill the Frenchmen and I think the Europeans too. It was really smart to kill the black man that that was in the
The mulatto.
My future say.
That's right.
The collaborators. It was smart to do that because if you did it to the white man first, then the black man would tell the other white man.
That's right.
And then the white man would get on the black man. And then if the black man was dead, they wouldn't have a warning to say, well, this man did something to the other man. Or something like that. So I think it was really smart to do that.
That's right. She understands it from a mathematical point of view. And that's just natural. She understood it from a mathematical point of view, the way that she just explained everything to us. So when you look at things where, she's like Brother Hatim was saying, she just put things in a mathematical way, and she did it extremely natural. That was an advantage for us, because that's what nature does. It puts everything, like the sister on here, Gye-Nyame, she said that right in the forest, she said, if you're a killer, you got to be a healer, just to balance things out. So I just think the little sister put everything in a mathematical way. Like, okay, you kill him to keep from killing him. And if you kill him, this is not going to go out over here. So that's just something to be studied. It seems simple because the children today are so brilliant. They're naturally born, or they're the answer to a lot of our prayers. They just come here just doing things, and even the younger ones are even smarter. So, on that African religion tip, I was just down in Cuba, And this is so surprising. 80% of the people, 80%, they don't call it, voodoo and all that. They don't call it that. But 80%, even Mr. Castro, practice African religion, spirituality, because his mom was black, which they don't tell you. You never hear anything about his father. His father was a Portuguese, white Portuguese. But they don't tell you, but all of them in Santiago, yeah, right. They have whole museums that is dedicated to the African religion, and you learn a little bit about how being a Catholic and being of African came together, because the Spaniards was over there killing them when they bought the pig in and all that. And you heard them say too that they bought pig in and all that. But yet and still we act like pig is something sacred over here when they bought it in just to kill us. But that's not the only thing. So some of these things we need to come together on. Sure, it tastes good because black people know how to make food taste good. But that's not the point. It's what it does to us to keep us from uniting with one another. That's the whole thing. So what would you give? Like the one brother on there, which one was it? He said, I'll give both of my hands before I go and kill my brother.
That was the son.
Right. He was willing to give both of his hands, but we won't give up a lot of things we won't give up, because, right, pork or, whatever, we won't give it up so we can unite with our own, because, see, unity is that's our biggest problem. That's why we don't have the money, we don't have this, because you got the collaborators still today, and, very proficient collaborators today. So, I don't know. I don't know where we are. We're going to have to be beat down, just like the Haitian people had to go through these levels of suppression. They had to go through the hot furnace. Now, they're mad. Like, we're almost mad, too, here in America. We mad. Yeah, that's why we are pissed off. If you are satisfied today, you got a problem. You're a collaborator if you satisfied today. So, we're almost there thanks to Mr. Trump. He's going to push us right on to where we're just going to, the nature of us is going to come up. So we need to feed the thought process of thinking about and uniting. So what if somebody say tomatoes and I say potatoes? You understand them, right?
Right.
Well, don't start no argument over stuff like that, or like she was saying, over whether you a Jew or a Christian. Now, personally, I think the word black unite us with our brothers and sisters all over the world, because black is not a color.
Right.
It's the essence of all colors. So it unites us with people that look like us, who has basically been suppressed all over this entire planet. When I went to Cuba, I looked down there, wasn't nobody down there but people your color and my color. I said, God, they took all the white Cubans out, and they didn't leave nobody down there but the black Cubans. And right in Havana itself, is 4 million people live right in Havana, and they all are young, and they do not want to leave Cuba. And they got that, when they was talking about that electricity, that you could see it in the people. Why? Because they drink water from up under the Caribbean Sea. They don't drink the regular water like the regular water we drink. We're not willing to even go that 9 yards just to try to get clean water, which is the brother lived down in Dayton. He told us the cleanest water in America was right down there in Dayton, underground.
Yeah, it comes out of Yellow Springs too.
Yeah.
Spring water.
Yeah, some of that. But he said this is a brother who have done the research. He got research like this, and he's usually at Kwanzaa down in Dayton. Mm-hmm. And he says that it is so much clean water, and just like in Columbus, even clean water. But we don't try to find that. We complain about our water bills. You get it instead of finding. It's just so much dealing with us of who we are. That's what I said. If we study us, the self. You got something to say?
You sure? All right, folks. If I see you,
when we come together, we should be trying. What's going to solve our problems?
That's right.
So we know the unity. This is a good group. We wasn't expecting this many.
Yeah, who you telling?
But thank goodness, people arrive, because people want this information. We're hungry, and so it's time. And like you said, Trump has really, made us realize that the good times are over, you know, and it's up to us if it's going to be.
So, you know, let's put everywhere. I'm not just saying here. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's put our time where what we say we believe. And as soon as we do, then somebody, a collaborator, gonna get up and come in and start like they did Wycliffe, you know, and start in. And, you know, I don't know how many people believed it. You know, I don't know how many people gave to his organization, Yellow. But, you know, I don't know all of this, but I'm just still saying these are good examples of what we see over and over and over again that break up our unity. And what is it inside of us that allow our unity to be broken?
Why is it that we can't see? But why is it that we can't see the propaganda? You know, that's what I was saying. You know,
Because of
you know, like
Could I have your attention for one moment, please? Now, for those of you who are in the know, you know, Brother Hatim gets on the what's that thing called? Daily Toast. 5 days a week, roughly 5:15.
7 days.
Okay.
And you all late on Saturday and Sunday. You know, the main point I want to talk about, brothers and sisters, or bring out is he talks about reticular formation. Now, what that is what you desire to see. Damn it, look for it. Stop talking about all this mess where we're failing. Look for where we're doing good. Talk about that. Strengthen it. I'm tired of hearing where we're falling short. I know about that. You know about that.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's bring out where we're doing good. I mentioned the brother doing the libations in the morning. I join him there. Others join him there. There's plenty of folks, could be more, should be more, who should join him there. But even if they don't, they can check him out later in the day. That's a good thing.
yeah,
That's a good thing. That's talking about bringing back our spirituality. We got a brother back there who said, look, if you need to know something, going deeper into the African spirituality, reach out to him. What's your name, brother? Musa. You got his name. He's probably on the little sheet you're passing around. So we all got contact with him. So let's talk about what we're doing good. Lift that up.
Right.
That's what our eyes should be set on. If we set our eyes on that, then we'll do that.
that's right.
That's right.
So the piece that he was talking about, the reticular formation is a part of our brain. It's a function in our brain. Well, actually, it's an organ in our brain that makes it possible for you to focus. So human beings, for a long time, when we had to go out and hunt or do what we had to do to survive, we needed something to keep us focused. So naturally, we got a mechanism in us that make it possible for us to go out and track what we want. Because if we didn't have this formation, I would go out hunting a rabbit, and I would see an antelope, and I go chase the antelope. Then I see a coyote, I chase the coyote, and then after the coyote, I see a deer. I won't stay focused, and because I don't stay focused, I will come back home, and eventually I will go extinct. Because if I can't keep focused, I can't survive. The reticular formation was also formed so that we will be able. One of the reasons this unity is able to be brewed up in us is because part of the survival mechanism is that I see negative things 3 times faster. I remember them 3 times longer than positive things. Why? Because back in the day, if I wasn't able to catch that bear in the bush or catch that snake over there, my life would be taken. So we have developed these things, and what we have to start doing is, one, start reprogramming it. And I'm going to show you how the reticular formation works. If you ever go out and you see a car that you want, everybody here experienced this. Oh, man, that's a nice car. What kind of car is that? Wow. Boom, boom. I see that car. Then all of a sudden, I'm driving down the street, and I start noticing this damn car everywhere. I never see it. That's the reticular formation working, because it goes into auto mode, and it makes it possible for you to start spotting what you want. So now, what I challenge everybody to do is to start using that and look for our principles. We got the week broken down. Instead of going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because we're praising their deities, when we do that, I say Umoja Kuchagli, Ujimu Jamani. Today is Kuumba. So I say when you go out today, look for where we are using our creativity. Where do you see us in our personal life, in our family life, in our tribal life? Where do you see these principles? Because we doing it. We doing it, and we're not stressing where we're doing it. We're more than likely we have, and the education system train us to look at things and find what's wrong with it, and then break down what's wrong with it. And we need to kind of reverse engineer what we've been taught. So, anybody else?
That goes back to what you were asking as well. It's like, how do we get this information to young people? And I think that's an approach that he just provided. He kind of speaks to them.
You know, when I have like 40 nieces and nephews, and they used to make fun of me, and they used to even hate it. But when I would bring them over for the weekend, we watched educational movies to give them that sense of self, that positive sense of self. And my niece, who is 33 now, she said, you know, I thought it was funny that my son wouldn't use the pink crayon to color in the coloring book because I took them out. Like, they couldn't use them. I wanted everything to be about how they saw this in a positive light. And so she sent me a text to say, remember how you used to do that? And I said, absolutely. So her son does it on purpose on his own, and he's only 2. And so I think educating, starting with our own family. I mean, a lot of us we all have family, you know, spending time with our nieces and nephews and just people in our family and educating them, you know, doing things to celebrate them as individuals, and celebrate like for girls, you know, coming into the beginning of becoming a woman. You know, I celebrated that with my nieces. You know, for the boys in my family, celebrating what it means to come into your manhood. And we know that's representation of the dream they have. And so all those things to celebrate them and creating those individual things to educate them. So they have, you know, at least the foundation and the seeds to start growing independently.
What's the pink for? Why did you take the pink out? Just curious.
Well, because I didn't want them to color the images white. I wanted them to color black only, brown only. So I took the pink and the white crayons out of every crayon box I ever gave them. And they was just like, what do I want? Like, no, we're going to use this one. And they remembered that, and it helped. Especially, you know, for my nieces who are darker complected, some of them, to feel good about who they see when they look in the mirror, and not being able to see that princess who is white.
Yeah.
You know, I remember sitting down when I was laughing because I found my old VHS of Carrie Coo. That was what we watched. This is a classic. You know, I'm like, I need to do this so I can show my grandson. You know, those kinds of things. We don't watch cartoons. I'm like, you know, let's watch something about nature. And so, you know, it takes a while when you're dealing with the other things that they deal with. I don't have video game systems in my house. I have basics of cable so I can at least stream what I want to watch. But that's where it starts. And the distrust is created by the Willie Lynch letter. And by this whole idea that we sold each other out into slavery. Some of that's true, but a lot of it is not. So, you know, re-educating ourselves through reading and studying. When I watch a video like this, I take down the different names of the books, and then I go back and I buy the books so I personally own them, and then I read them. And then I reread them to educate. Mm-hmm. And then I just regurgitate it to other people.
Now, like, and it's lessons in everything, because like talking about what we can do, there's lessons in everything. One of the things that, because I do this stuff called kombucha, but one of the things I learned from it was nation building, because you can see what we need to do in nature. And with kombucha, what it does is I got this thing called a SCOBY, and it looked like a big flat piece of pancake that I put into a solution of honey and green tea. And you'll see this thing, it will spread over and seal out everything else. And it makes all the tea that's down there, turn it into something that it can consume. It consumes all the sugar. And the piece that I learned from that is that with nation building, you got to have borders. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just like nature shows us this. You know what I'm saying? It's like they won't let any other bacteria, any other yeast, if you don't belong to our collective, you can't come here. You understand what I'm saying?
You got something to prove that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, and that's something, and that's against the education that they're giving us, because we all the same. but we're not all in the same situation. And we have to understand, like, even when we watch the kids with our children, it's an opportunity to teach.
That's right.
These holidays that a lot of us say we don't celebrate, you don't have to celebrate. Go and have the discussion. Thanksgiving don't have to be Thanksgiving. It could be Black Family Day because we sure come together.
Right. Everybody on board.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the ancestors. And that's another piece. A lot of us, we had revolutionaries in our family that we don't even know about.
That's right.
We need to look into our past and see what we came from and truly get a grasp of it. Because we've been taught that the family is the mother, the father, and the child. When we had extended families. Now, I'm going to take it one step farther. One piece out of the extended family that we left out, because we got the cousins and all that, but we forgot the ancestors. The ancestors are still part of our existence. And they give us inspiration, they give us clues, they give us ideas, they give us information. All we got to do is open the door to communicate with them. This is why I pour libations. And I don't focus on the Marcus Garveys, I don't focus on the Malcolm X's, I don't focus on none of them. I'm focusing on Big Mama, I'm focusing on those cousins and those friends that we live with because they have a stake in your advancement. Because with the hope, one of the things that came to me was we're generational people. And I said that earlier. What does this mean? This means, at least from my standpoint, this means as a generational people, I reincarnate back into the same bloodline that I came from. What does that mean? That means that if I leave my family messed up, if I leave my family in a bad situation, when I come back, because I'm coming back to a messed up situation that I could have fixed when I was here the first time. I'm here right now fixing something that I should have done back then. When you start thinking about life like that, like our ancestors did, because we didn't end our life right here. They need to take away the opportunity. They need to take away the thought formation, the thought or the idea that we have continuous life. They need to take that away from us so that we could become slaves. Why? Because this is the only life I got. What happens when you figure out I got 5,000 lives? You know what I'm saying? And my elder Nomo said something to me a long time ago. He said, and some of y'all gonna take this the wrong way. He said we need to come up as a collective with an honorable way for somebody to die. I said, what? He said, because some of these dudes, they go to jail, they get raped. You know what I'm saying? They can't never get right again. But they have been taught that there's no honorable way to take yourself out if you need to. I said, damn, that's kind of extreme. But, you know what I'm saying? We do need to come up with that. And also some codes, because Tariq Nasheed is big on building codes. What should you do? What shouldn't you do? And we don't have to do this nationally. We can do this here locally. And one of the things that I want to go to now for our discussion is what can we do right here in Columbus, Ohio, to extend the information out to possibly the 250,000. And we know there's a possibility we only can get 1% of that. And I'm totally satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally satisfied with that. What can we do here? What can we do? Especially while we got free facilities. I'm just saying.
I think that we got a lot of educators in the city, I feel. And I feel like, we should have maybe, I know other people have tried to do it and everything, but I find it to be extremely successful when we can have a Saturday school or a Sunday school. And, bring the children in, all ages, and put them there. Because one of the things, if you can put a 6-year-old and you can put a 2-year-old together, the 2-year-old catches up quicker because you see the 6-year-old doing something and put them together. And just one day, just start off doing that so everybody's involved. So if you got somebody like me, for instance, who know about the bushes, the herbs and all that kind of stuff, bring me in and show the children and tell them the benefits of the health. Somebody who know about HR, public relations or whatever. Bring them in and give it to our children the way that we do it. We can do that here. This city got so many educators that, they're not doing, I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but they don't have to work on the weekends.
Right.
And that kind of a thing.
Yeah, we got Ronnie over here.
We actually do have a Saturday school. It's called the Marcus Garvey Saturday School. And we were actually here. Many of the Saturday school students are here today to participate in this, and we would love to have guest teachers come out and help us. We meet at least 4 times a month, and one day we do a community service. We've been doing it for 3 years now, and Brother D-Lo and myself have been a part of it. And, we try to do other things as well. We had a group for girls, a girl development group called Lessons for Our Daughters. And so there's a lot of things that's taking place, but sometimes people don't come and support it all the time.
Because if we had HR people, we can put everything in place, though, to make even something like that successful. Sometimes you need a transportation committee. Sometimes you need somebody who's going to do this and to do that. Okay, it's a little bit of work, but look at all of us that could volunteer to do things to be able to help. I think we should quit eating pig, period. Because I think that destroys so much of our mindsets because we don't really know ourselves, so we don't know the effects that kind of stuff have on us, So I think, a lot of things like that we can do, to begin to start out. How can we, I remember when Columbus was one of the first cities who did a food co-op in the manor. But a lot of people was involved. You had people going in there at 4 o'clock in the morning building boxes. You had people who would go to produce places to get stuff and knew how to put it. And Brother Nomo was basically one of the main leaders in doing that. But everybody helped. You see, everybody helped. Everybody had a specific role. So we've had a Saturday school for 3 years. Maybe somebody... A lot of grandparents and uncles and aunts got children today. The mom is not there. So why not give them a hand? Why not the people who's got access to market a Saturday school? Why we got a transportation committee to go pick them up, and bring them to the school if the teachers are in place? That it's a little bit of work, but something like that can actually be done. The African Center did it with the Academy of Excellence for a long time. So I don't know. I just think things can be done.
Now, I want to make a couple announcements, then we're going to close out because we're a little bit past 5. I want to respect everybody's time. I want to announce on the show tonight, I'm going to be doing a show. I'm going to be interviewing somebody about this new cryptocurrency thing. I don't know if y'all been hearing about this. Yeah. All right, this whole cryptocurrency. I got somebody who's been in it since it's been 2 years old. So he's going to give a lot of information on it. So be looking out for me on Facebook because I'm going to have a discussion with him. Then I'm going to open the lines. And if you got questions, you can post them up on the timeline. Just like I was reading Jackie's comments, I will read your comments. Because some of this stuff we need to look at and decide as a group or as individuals, am I going to participate with this? Is there a possibility that there is resources that we can access there? Second, we are in Kwanzaa season, family. We are in Kwanzaa season. So we have Kwanzaa coming up. For the first 5 days, we are going to be at the Martin Luther King, the King Arts Complex. So we will hope that everybody show up, not show out, but show in, you know what I'm saying? And let's build. Let's further talk about expanding the school because right now we are in the time where we have access to space. And I keep trying to let my tribal family know because I call it a tribe. People get upset. I don't care. I got a tribe of people around me. We got space, and as long as we got space, we can make stuff happen. So we want to close with a unity circle, and we have the drum. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, we can start. I think y'all went to the restroom.
Oh, so we got a couple more minutes for this. Go ahead.
When is Chaos Complex?
Where is it?
No, when is it?
Oh, December 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. That's it?
At the King Arts Complex, it's those first 4 days. The 30th is a African drum and dance party at the Doubletree Hotel in Worthington. And then Sunday is right here at Millennium Community School on Saturday, December 31st. January 1st is at home with your families. I also want to let you guys know there is a pre-Kwanzaa event at Afrocentric School on December the 16th. And then starting on December 26th, don't leave, Mama Makeda, because I'm about to shout you out.
We'll have a pre-Kwanzaa event. Hosted a pre-Kwanzaa event that was phenomenal on Wednesday, November the 23rd.
22nd.
22nd?
But the next one is December 23rd and then December 26th. And that's where it gives them a chance to make crafts.
Something I can't understand. Why y'all can't have stuff at on Mount Vernon?
The King Center
At
is
that
off of
other
Mount
place.
Which place?
He's specifically speaking of the DoubleTree thing.
Economic
Because
place.
all the rest of it is on Mount Vernon.
Because every time I get ready to come over here, I have to take a bus, and it's hard to get on the bus.
We partnered with someone who was they were already doing an African dance party. We wanted to do something that was either a dance or a party or a celebration. And so since we didn't want to compete, we wanted to collaborate. So this brother was already doing an African dance party on that Saturday. So we just partnered with him so we could all express unity and support of each other. And so that's why that event is there.
So is it going to be live German? Is it going to be a DJ or is it going to be German all night?
He's going to be, I think they just stepped out the room. He would be the best person to speak to that because he is
Oh, here you come.
participating in
Oh, he bringing too many drums as usual. Got two,
Also, while we're waiting on them, folks, we can go family to the Columbus Kwanzaa 365.com website to get information about all of the events, pre-Kwanzaa events that are going on the week of Kwanzaa. There are daytime events for children and families. We've talked a lot about the need to make sure our children are getting information and learning. Sister Makeda is kicking off the first pre-Kwanzaa event for children the week of Kwanzaa, and then there is a pre-Kwanzaa event for children during the day on the 26th, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. There on Sunday, on the 31st, here, there is going to be a drum and dance Kwanzaa activities for children, so please look forward to coming out to the Kwanzaa activities. We do have a full schedule, and the committee's worked really hard to make sure we can celebrate as a city together this year.
Are there any places where I got this from my place the other day? Whole list of all.
It's actually it's on the website. That's a good question. All that's on the website. If you go to Columbus Kwanzaa 365, that's our hashtag as well. If you're in the hashtag Columbus Kwanzaa 365, the intent of the collective was that we think about Kwanzaa all year long and the principles and live them all year long. And I think we're talking about that in the news as well. But you can go to that website and under events, all the events are listed. Hopefully we'll have hot cards out of this month that you can also have in hand what the events are. So again, Columbus Kwanzaa 365 is the website. You can. We also have a Facebook page. Columbus Kwanzaa 365 if you're on Facebook. And what that does is it consistently runs events that are being hosted in our community that reflect the principles of Kwanzaa. And so we can support each other, not only financially, but in participation and in presence. So we can, again, practice the principles. So go to Columbus Kwanzaa 365 on our Facebook page and or ColumbusKwanzaa.com, the website, to get information. Register to be a vendor. If you're a vendor or you know someone who you think would like to vend, they can register to vend at Kwanzaa at the website. Columbus Kwanzaa 365. Or you can put an ad in the ad book if you want to be a sponsor. For as little as $10 if you just want to list your name in support of Kwanzaa or the community activities that we're doing. You can go to the website, and again, we are accepting funds online through a PayPal source there. So again, everything's on the website. What's the website, y'all?
Columbus Kwanzaa 3.
Okay, so what's the...
We're about to circle up and close out. So scoop some of the chairs in, leave a space in the center for the drummers. We'll just move a little bit because we need the space in the middle. We don't have to work it out. Let's just put it that way. I can't tell you what to do with the chairs. We're going to work it out. We want to try to get male, female. It's close to balance.
When I say it, I say female, male.
All right, female, male.
Right.
I just, you know.
That's okay. When you say it, I say it. Yeah, we'll over here. See that.
Join us? Okay. James, come on.
You want to play that? Okay. Oh, let's try to get these chairs out so we can hopefully have something. I'm doing it, bro. I'll go.
Amen.
That was kind of weak. I'll go.
Amen.
That's still kind of weak. I'll go.
Amen.
Oh, now that's a little better. So when I say I'll go and you say I may, then give me boom, boom, boom. All right? I'll go.
Amen.
Okay, y'all got to get it together. Okay, start with your left foot, then your right foot, then your left foot again. I'll go.
Amen.
Yeah, lean it forward. A little bit better. A little bit better. Don't hold hands yet. Don't hold hands yet. I'll go. Amen. All right. I'll go. Amen. Uh-oh. Now try this.
Oh, God.
No. Let's not go. No, what did the brother say? What did he say? Over here, he said, we think positive about what we do. Other people said, we got this piece inside our head that has us focused on the price. Okay? So it's See? Wait. Try it. Okay, yeah, say Before we can move as a unit, we learn to move as individuals. All right? Boom, clap. 1, 2, 3. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Let's make that the do like we mean it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So it's boom, clap, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look out there. 1, 2, 3. Wait, somebody let one out. Boom, clap, boom, boom, boom. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. 1, 2, 3. I'll go. Give me 2 of them in succession. I'll go. Give me 2 of them in succession. I'll go. Like he told us, he said they had a pebble, and the pebbles each day they got rid of one of the pebbles, so they knew automatically when to go. But what did not tell them that they already knew is what time to make that move. What was the time on that last day that they made that move? That's what we have to understand. I'll go. Well, I'm gonna do one of them. Okay, I'll go. We're gonna do one of them. I'm gonna do one of them. Na sinya dinya mabelebu. Na sinya dinya mabelebu. Batuba no beyo dinya mabelebu. Hey, ha, hey, 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 ha, ha, hey, hey, ha, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do back to go. Go back to go. All right, try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we all. All right, let's get my march going. Come on, hit it. Hey. Ah, hey. Ah, all right. Hey, ah, hey.
Those who are not willing to sacrifice will not be fulfilled.
Get in the circle. There we go. What? Say it again.
Those who are not willing to sacrifice will not be fulfilled.
I said.
The greatest knowledge that one can acquire is the knowledge of self.
Y'all see how he's dancing? And y'all just watch it. Oh,
Right?
Brianna, oh yes,
Brianna. Brianna and Jabari, why don't you all talk
Brianna
about
and Jabari, come to the center. This morning, they are brought in the unity camp.
Somebody, her name is Sunshine.
Sing your song. The song we did today. Yeah, do the song. Yes!
Okay.
Come on, do the song that you did today.
You need to get out?
No. Yeah. Put that arm up so she can hold on to that arm. Put that arm up.
Put your arm up.
Put that arm up, brother. Yeah, no, not her arm. Yo, yeah. All the brothers, stand up tall. Put that arm up. Hold it right there. Right, that's right across there. Brothers, put that arm up, that left arm up. Right across there. There you go. Yeah. Got the hand on the hip. Leave it there. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. Get the hand on y'all go together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Say Umoja.
Come on, Umoja.
Unity.
Self-determination. Put some soul in it. Collective work and responsibility. Cooperative economics. Hold on to his head with your hand, and now walk her back to her place. Ready? 1, 2, no, forward. Get that arm up. There it is. All right, guys, walk back. All right. Walk around. Walk around, please. Somebody close us out, please.
I'll close.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll make it short but sweet. I just want to thank everybody for coming. I thank everybody for their support. And as you leave, always remember, each one teach 3. Wow.
And let's hear for the young folks over there.
We let you know you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
For the school too.
Thank you to everyone.
This is the Heart of a Simple production.
Oh, I got a question. I'm sorry.
Where we strive to grow up your old paradigm.